Okay, welcome back everyone. This is part 4 and the final edition of this exercise I've been doing. Redesign Trailblazer from the New Warriors comic. It's been a long road, had a good time, but today is when I decided to wrap it up. I feel like there's more I could have done towards the end, but there are some other projects I want to start on, so I guess here is where I'll call it. As you can see, I started with working on the faces. Last time I decided on a body type. I selected some hair that gives us decent silhouette, and in this session I will be developing some facial features, trying to give it some personality. I'm looking for a face that has plenty of personality but still seems fairly realistic. Also, I will be getting into the costuming for this. Also in this edition I will be getting into the costuming. I admit towards the end is not very superhero-esque, but that's kind of the point. Alright, as you can see here, I'm just playing with different facial features that might look good. Different eye shapes, different eyebrows, different noses. In my experience, what really determines the personality of a face is usually the nose. The centerpiece, I guess you could say. I decided to look up reference from one of my favorite comics, The Runaways, to see what I could be doing better. As you can see, I started rethinking the headband around this time. Alright, I just pulled in my reference. I went on Pinterest and pulled all these various outfits and pieces of clothing that I thought would represent the vague blobs that I have representing my clothing right now. And here I go about to flesh them out. I've always liked bandanas and scarves, but they've always been very complex objects, all the folds and whatnot. But so here, this provided me a good opportunity to finally dive in and try to work out what one of these would look like, or at least what my interpretation of one of those would be. Now, if you recall, I wanted my character to be more of an adventurer type, not so much the street level crime fighter type. So her clothing needs to be more outdoorsy, I guess you could say. More loose and comfortable, but sturdy. I like the idea that her neckerchief is held together with the teeth of some wild animal. Alright, here I was designing her. Here I wanted to give her some type of tunic. Kind of something that was feminine, but still rugged in a way. Looking at her hair, I think it's safe to assume she's not the type to care a lot about her looks, but that doesn't mean they can't dress for success. Now, originally I was trying to look for a way to incorporate this sort of this shoulder pad I had going on with the silhouette. Ultimately, though, I figured it was more trouble than was worth. Moved on. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes it's for the best. I thought it'd be a good idea for her to have pockets. I gave her magic pack of limitations, so it makes sense she can just carry some things on her at times. Alright, I guess I can tell a little bit about the story right now. Alright, so what I came up with is this. At the edge of Marvel's multiverse, there is a tribe of people who have dedicated their civilization to them, mapping and study of the multiverse. In every generation or so, someone is selected by their deity or patron to go out into the multiverse and bring back the collected data that has come of it. Now, the multiverse in Marvel has actually been through a lot a few years ago, an event called Battle World, where basically all the worlds were condensed into one, and ruled with an iron fist by Doctor Doom and his army of Thors. This has since been resolved. That's why Miles Morales is now in the Marvel Prime universe. I think Franklin Richards was writing the rest of the multiverse back into existence somehow. It actually got really confusing. But it did bring Marvel's mom back to life, so I can't complain too much there. Also brought his uncle back to life, which I still think is a missed opportunity. Not to leave him dead, I'm just saying he never, during Miles' uncle's original appearance, he was supposed to be this evil mentor, but he never really got a chance to be that before he was killed off in the original Ultimate Spider-Man run. I got way off track there. Okay. What I was saying is that this civilization, every generation, a member of their tribe is selected by their deity to go into the multiverse and just see what's out there. This generation, this was Trailblazer, and this generation it was Trailblazer. And as a young girl, she was brought before the temple to accept her gift from the patron that would help her on her journey. Usually it comes in the form of some piece of the patron's body. An arm for strength, a leg for speed. She got its mouth. And it was presented to her in the form of I call it a cornucopia. You'll see in a bit. And this cornucopia gives her what she needs. I think of it as like a magical 3D printer, basically. Unfortunately, unfortunately what it gives doesn't last longer than a day. At the end of that day, it fades away. So it can't produce anything sustainable. Well, it can't give you sustenance like food or water because, well, that stuff needs to last. I may need to change my antidote idea because of this. I may need to change my idea that this can give you like anti-venoms and whatnot because of that. But again, sometimes you gotta do that for the sake of the story and the character. I had a rough time with those boots there. Okay, but yes, so she was sent forth with this cornucopia into the multiverse, and spent several years mapping it out. The cornucopia is also what's teleporting her throughout space and time, kind of like a pocket TARDIS. What Trailblazers didn't realize, however, is that something had occurred while she was away. Her tribe isn't there anymore, and something is stalking her throughout the multiverse. This is something I think would help a new character appeal to a new audience, especially in a superhero genre, and that's giving them an enemy. An arch rival to counter whatever they're kind of trying to achieve. I don't have this character design or anything, obviously, but I like the idea that someone or something is following her through the multiverse. Its intentions are unclear, but it's definitely related to the downfall for people and why she's stuck in Marvel Prime. No, Earth 616. That probably wasn't a very good pitch, but I've delivered worse, I think. I decided to take inspiration from this Mayan Mask here. I always wanted a more, ancient Maya or Incan approach to what Trailblazer was like, design-wise. I don't know why, but for a second there I kind of wanted to give him a mustache. This is basically the face of the deity. Again, normally I don't work in this much design. Normally I don't work in this much detail, so this was another opportunity for me to really stretch beyond my comfort zone, see what I can do. Right, now all you gotta do is figure out how I'm gonna place this. Alright, now I kinda like the idea of this being, right underneath her arm instead of like on her hip. I just think it would be easier for her to just reach in there and draw something out immediately. in a combat situation, you don't want to be fumbling around in your bag for your weapon. Again, this character is not supposed to be a warrior technically, but if she can't be afraid to get her hands dirty if the situation occurs, that's also involved. That's also what survival entails. I always struggle a little with belts and straps. Thank you, copy and paste. Okay, time to clean up the facial features. I was honestly not expecting to really go this far. I figured I'd show a quick rough on the character design and that would be enough, but here I am and I wanted to do more. So I'm gonna do more. I don't really know what it represented, what it was supposed to mean, it fit with the character. So I just wanted to do something. Go with the more with the Incan or Mayan look I was going for. I tried to make the triangle work, but ultimately I had to go with the circle. Now, honestly, I kind of hate cleanup. It's just such a slow, tedious process where every stroke needs to be perfect. It's nerve-wracking is what I'm saying. It wasn't so bad. Now, I guess most people wouldn't find the thought of someone looking over your shoulder while you work particularly appealing. And I probably wouldn't if you were actually here, but I guess it made me work a little harder. It being less tedious to know that this was going somewhere. That hand is way too small. Now, you're about to see that I am going to struggle a lot with this hand. Which is fairly normal. Hands are one of the hardest things to draw. Everyone knows what they look like, yet very few people know what they look like. It's a very important body part to get down. There's actually entire classes devoted to just hands and feet in art school because they're that complicated and also that common. This bit here, I was trying to draw my own hand looking into a mirror. just going back and forth, looking in the mirror, trying to draw it from memory. It didn't quite work out. Alright, finally I just went online and looked for a decent hand I could use. Alright, that'll do for now. Now, typically for this kind of situation, you would just draw through. You would just draw the complete arm behind the character, and then just erase the bits you don't need. I didn't quite do that, which may have made an anatomy mistake here, but the average person wouldn't notice. Oh, what I'm doing here is basically it's a sort of preparation to color, that kind of step. You see, I'm adding a grayscale to it. I don't want to go through the process of selecting different shades, different palettes, and trying to see where they fit into this character right now. So instead, I was going to apply a grayscale, something to simulate the tones that the character should have. And, well, through that, I would be able to simply place whichever color I selected onto the image. You. Right now, everything you've seen drawn has been on a different layer. I'm now consolidating everything, condensing it all into a single line art image. That'll make it easier to color. That way I don't have to worry about trying to do this for like a dozen different layers. Another key advantage to drawing digitally. Alright, so we can start to see where I'm going with this. Yeah, the skin is darker than the scarf and the shirt is lighter than the scarf. Hands are darker than the skin, that kind of deal. I hope you guys are enjoying the music. You know, in these long pauses between things I have to say. Done. Okay, I lost some footage around here, but this is what I ended up with. Thank you all for joining me on this journey. I hope you had fun along with me. Hope you learned a lot. I did. And, well, hope you'll join me again for whatever my next project's going to be. I think next time I'll do something a bit more personal. You know, not in the dramatic sense, but in the I'm just making one of my own things kind of deal. Alright, thanks guys. Have a good night. See you next time.